I actually used to have an accent. And they would be like, go back to Mexico. And I would get so depressed because of the comments. The IRS come and knock on my door. Because people reported me and they thought that I didn't file my taxes. So I was prepared. I feel like it almost made me want to work harder.
Welcome back, babies. I'm literally with the makeup superstar turned celebrity influencer who's worked with some of the largest brands such as Savage Fenty, Morphe, and has literally had her face blasted across makeup stores like Ulta Beauty. This girl has done it all while building a massive following that's obsessed with watching her daily life. So we are going to get inspired and jump into the mindset of Daisy Marquez. Woo!
Thank you for having me.
We'll add the cheers.
In the background?
All the clapping.
Okay. Cute.
I'm so excited you're here. Obviously, you built such an inspiring brand. Mm-hmm. And I know that there was a time I saw you at a Hollywood party and we were drunk and I literally said to you, I was like, you have such a good brand image online. And you're like, oh, thanks. But you're also so much more in person. So
yeah,
I think, you have such a good image and then you have so much more depth. So I was really excited to have you hop on.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very more out there in person than on social media. I feel like I'm very more posh on there. Yeah, I don't really show as much of my personality on there, which I should, but I feel like people don't really know how not crazy, but more outgoing than I am.
Well, for the people that don't know, start us out with where you started with your career and what was the thing that catapulted you into this place?
So actually, I started doing makeup because I was in drill team in high school. And then I was very, advanced in school and I had dreams of going to college. I got accepted to my dream college. I was so excited. But unfortunately, since I am an immigrant, the way the government is here, if you're an immigrant, you are charged as an international student, which was double the price for college.
Wow.
And at the time I was broke as fuck.
Aww.
I didn't have a job and my mom started freaking out and she's like, I'll get another job, etc. And I was like, I don't want my mom to, work so much. And I ended up getting into a depression and then my outlet was makeup. So I just started playing with makeup and I actually started on Snapchat. So I would do mini Snapchat tutorials and then people were like, you need to do YouTube. And I was like, I'm never going to do YouTube. I'm too shy for that. I just didn't have the courage to do it. And then I posted a makeup look on Twitter. Instagram was blowing up with makeup. And I'm like, what is going to set me apart? So I decided to post my makeup on Twitter instead. And overnight, this video went viral.
No way.
And then I started posting all my makeup looks on Twitter. And then they started getting so many retweets and likes. And then that my fan base started on Snapchat and Twitter.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so then from there, I just one day was like, you know what? Fuck it. What do I have to lose? So then I made that YouTube video. And it was just the followers and subscribers just came because I had that fan base from Twitter and Snapchat. So I feel like that really helped me. And then I did a prom makeup look and that blew up.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and then from there I was it was so much fun. I was so passionate. I just started posting. And then from there, an agency reached out, signed to them. And then as soon as I graduated high school, I moved to LA.
Wow, you were so young when you did this all.
Yes,
oh my God, but before you graduated high school?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
I told my mom, I was like, I'm going to graduate high school and I'm moving. And she was like, you're not going to make it.
Wow.
A lot of my family just doubted me because, I don't know, they were like, you're very young. It's very expensive. And I did save up. I moved here with only $10K.
Wow.
I know. But I was like, I'm going to work my ass off and I'm going to post my YouTube videos. And I knew I had a dream and I was like, I'm going to go after it. And yeah, I'm still doing YouTube still. I love YouTube. I did fall out of love for it for a little bit because I feel like I was just so focused on trying to find myself. But now I'm back on it and I love it.
Cool. Did you feel like you had some sort of trait or something that inspired you to keep going on the social media path? Or did you just believe that you could be something? Or do you feel like it kind of happened organically?
I feel like I always loved being in front of the camera or talking in front of people. And I feel like it just happened organically and it came so easy to me. And I feel like just connecting with people around the world it just made it so much easier. Yeah.
You feel like you genuinely just had fun doing it.
Yes. And then I will say after it became all about work is what kind of took the fun out of it. I still love it. I found my passion for YouTube again. and just makeup in general. I will always be a makeup girly. I love.
Yeah, you're so good at it.
And I'm wearing mascara and a couple of liquid blush, but
Yeah, we're gonna get into your skin at some point because it's insane. You look like you're literally always perfect.
thank you.
What do you feel like? Obviously, the makeup industry is a whole industry. I want to say it's like the biggest market for money on social media
It
too.
is.
Like, so obviously, with that, knowing that there's the biggest money being spent in makeup, like there's a lot of competitors. There's a lot of saturation. How did you make your brand stand out?
I feel like what made me really stand out is my immigration status. So I posted a video about me crossing the border to come here.
Wow.
And how that was. And I was able to connect with my fan base and immigrants around the world and people that are under DACA.
Wow.
So DACA allows me to have a social security number and work and go to school. And that kind of is like what protects me. And so me sharing that story, and no other makeup influencer at the time,
Yeah, actually
like,
does that
yeah,
stuff.
so I just wanted to get, and I didn't really think anything of it, so I just kind of posted it, and I did get some backlash, and I did, like, my team at the time was just, like, very scared because they're like, what if you get in trouble, etc. And I did have the IRS come and knock on my door.
No
because people
way.
reported me, and they thought that I didn't file my taxes, so I was prepared, for just in
That's
case
so
anything happened.
horrible.
It is, and like at some point I did get really scared and I took the video down, but it's back up.
Yeah.
And I guess it was just my way of showing people like, look, although, I do have, this limitation, it doesn't mean that my dreams have to be limited or
Yeah, which should be so inspiring. It is.
yeah, and I feel like it almost made me want to work harder and pursue my dreams more because I mean, just because you're an immigrant shouldn't mean that you shouldn't go after your goals. And at that young
100%.
age, I was like, I'm going to do it, and I am living proof that you can go
Yeah.
after it. Yeah.
And you know what's really crazy is like on the way to success, and you've clearly had this happen to you, but like on the way to success, there's also comes with people that want to kind of tear you down. And that's probably the hardest thing about being in the spotlight. Like
Yeah.
having that and keep like going forward because
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It used to take a huge toll on my mental health because, I mean, being on social media starting at like 17, 18, I didn't know how to handle the hate. I would read all the
Yeah, you're
comments,
so
I
young
would
at
read
that
all the articles, and then I was believing all these lies, like people just commenting on my face or what I would say or the way I would talk. I actually used to have an accent, and people would come for me
Yeah.
for that, and they would be like, go back to Mexico, like go, like just stupid stuff like that. And I just wasn't mentally strong back then, and I would get so depressed because of the comments, and now I'm just like,
Do you not read your
I
comments
don't
anymore?
I don't read the hate comments. No, I don't read them. I just have. I feel like being in the industry for so many years, it just has made me have really thick skin now.
Yeah.
And whatever people say about me, they can. Some people have the best version of me in them. Some people have
Yeah.
the worst, and it's. I'm not here to live up to anyone's expectations. I feel like.
Yeah.
And I live my life for me, and I know that I'm a good person internally, externally, so it doesn't really bother me now what people have
It's
to say.
crazy that you've done, yeah, you definitely were set up with limitations. I know everyone is in their own way, but the fact that you weren't even from here, you had to figure out how to get here, all that stuff is so
Yeah.
like inspiring.
Yeah.
What do you feel like was in you at that age to believe in yourself like that?
For sure, my mom.
Especially if you don't have like a bunch of people around you.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's my mom because she is a single mom and she got pregnant with me as a teenager. I just saw her working so much that I was like, I'm going to be someone one day so I can repay her for everything that she did. And she sacrificed, I just knew that she sacrificed a lot, especially her teenage years raising me and having 2 jobs. And so now I take care, she's very good on her own, but on top of that, if she wants something, I take care of her.
Aw,
She's my
that's
best
such a good
friend.
feeling.
Yeah, she's literally my best friend, and she's my number 1 fan, and she just is so proud, and she's like my number 1 cheerleader.
Oh,
Yes, I think
amazing.
she's my number 1 motivation. So even when I was younger, I just knew that I wanted to make it for her.
When you like got into this space, did you have anyone around you to learn from, or were you just looking at the internet?
No, literally, I just learned on my own, which is so crazy.
Wow,
and
crazy.
You know what's so funny? So since I didn't have any money back then, I would go to the swamp meet and buy fake makeup. It was like
Yeah.
dupes of like MAC, and I would just spend, because I didn't have any
That's
money at
kind
the
of
time.
smart though.
It is smart. And then,
People are like, oh yeah, she has the newest Mac thing.
yeah, and I was like, it's fake, babe. But at the time, like, I just had to work with what I had. And I would just practice every single night. And I feel like back then I was more creative. And like 2016 makeup was a different era. Like
Wow,
the
really?
colorful cut creases and stuff. But I would just take inspiration from anything. Like, I would go watch a movie, and if I liked the eyeshadow that the actors would have, I would go recreate it.
That's cool.
Or I would do like makeup looks based off like album covers and stuff like that. And
That's so cool.
yeah, so I taught myself. I'm a self-taught makeup artist.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you just genuinely were like, I like doing this and I'm just going to do it for fun.
Yeah, I loved it. And then after that, I was like, okay, I need to make money because I'm broke as fuck in high school. So I just never wanted to work a 9-to-5 job, if I'm being honest. Ever since I was in high school, I just knew that I wanted to do something more. So then I used my skills of makeup, and then I used to do makeup on clients, and I would charge $20.
Wow, that's
I
amazing.
would charge $20
for a full makeup look.
Yeah, for a
by
full
Daisy
makeup
Marquez.
look. Just so I could
$20.
start $20. And to me, that was a lot. I was like, Mom, I made $60 today. But I was like, I think I started doing clients at 17, I believe, and I would do prom makeup. That's when I would make my most money, is during prom season.
Prom.
Yeah.
It was a crazy time for makeup.
Yeah. So that's how I would make my money. And then from there, I invested in like a better kit, better makeup. And then once I kind of blew up with YouTube, then I stopped doing makeup on other people.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Do you believe in staying in one niche to grow your following, or do you believe in like dabbling in other things?
I definitely think dabbling for sure. I mean, like for me, everybody knows me as like Daisy, the makeup artist, but I feel like now that I grew up with my audience, I definitely wanted to, you know, get my hands into other industries. So like the beverage industries, the wine, that is something that also super passionate about. And since I grew up with my fan base, I'm like, we're all in our 20s now. I'm like, we can all drink. It's like, you know, so that was something else that I did love. I also love lifestyle. I really thought I was going to just stick to like makeup videos for the rest of my life. And then I was like, I'm going to try lifestyle, and I'm going to do outfits, like fashion videos and stuff. So I think as a creator, you should definitely do more than just one. For example, if you do fitness, try to get into makeup, or you're...
So there's so many people, I always say this on my episodes, like I don't know if you've heard this, but like the number one dream like career now is social media for Gen Z.
It's insane. I know. And like TikTok has made that possible for a lot of people.
So everyone is looking up to social media influencers like beyond celebrities now. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And like you think about it, like some people that have been acting for years, and then versus like a TikToker, it's like, I'm not comparing anybody, but like it's insane how social media is like up there now.
Yeah,
it is. And
so why I bring that up is like, if you saw someone like and they wanted to start out in this space and this was their dream, like what advice would you give them?
I would say consistency is the number one key. And I have struggled with it because sometimes I'm like super consistent, I'm posting, and then some days I'm just like, crap, I haven't posted in like a week or two.
Yeah.
But the more you're consistent, the more people are going to see your content. And like you, I would also say you have to be likable and like show your personality so people can, you know,
connect
relate
with
to
you.
you. Yeah. That's what I tell my sisters all the time. I'm like, just be you.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. Don't see it as a job. If you really want to pursue social media, just have fun with it, be consistent, and be yourself.
So when you say consistent, is that like posting every single day, or is it every week, or what do you believe in?
So for YouTube, for example, what really helped me is like I say my flowers because my name's Daisy, and then instead of saying my fans, I say my flowers. We're like a little garden.
So cute.
I've said that since I was very young, so it sounds a little weird now because we're all adults, and I'm like, I'm calling you a flower. But
flowers.
They know that I post every Thursday. Back then, I had 2 YouTube channels actually.
Wow.
Because I moved here with my high school sweetheart.
Oh wow.
So I had a couples channel that it reached 500,000 before I took everything down.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had 2 YouTube channels, and one I would post every Thursday and every Sundays, and then on my second channel it was like every other day, or I would do Vlogmas. So I feel like once your fans know what days are your days to post, they're ready. Yeah. And they'll have their notifications on. For TikTok, I'm not the best at TikTok.
TikTok's a whole different, especially if you're from YouTube, it's so different.
You know what? I was just talking about this with my friends. I'm like, at the end of the day, I feel like YouTube is so hard to make it on there because
Oh, so hard.
it is hard to create a fan base on there versus TikTok because TikTok is just so much faster. But YouTube, I feel like once you grow a fan base on YouTube, it's like a really solid foundation on there.
Yeah, they're like loyal
Yes.
fans.
Yeah.
Because they're watching long form content of you.
Yes, and
They're
that's
getting
hard to keep
really
them
into you.
entertained. Yeah.
What are your tricks for keeping people entertained? Do you like chop out your like ums and stuff, or do you like let it be more organic?
What I have learned is definitely in the first few seconds, you have to grasp their attention. If you like talk very slow or it's like not anything interested, people are going to start skipping or they're going to click out. So what I've been doing is like I'll cut like very short clips that are very fast. So it's like a lot's going on and then they'll stay and then I start talking.
Wow.
So like in my Get Ready With Me's, it'll be like cut. And then it's like, hi guys, welcome back to my channel today, blah, blah, blah. And then I just get straight into it.
Cool. Is there certain things that you say to grasp people's attention right away?
I feel like back then with makeup tutorials, people would just sit down and watch makeup, but now I do story times with my makeup tutorials.
Oh,
so I'll
cool.
catch them up on like what's been going on in my life, my dating life. People seem to be very interested in that. So I usually catch them up on the tea with that. Yeah, I like to talk about my personal life while I'm getting ready. And
Yeah.
that keeps them entertained. And then I'll talk about like the product here and there. But it's not so much just like me teaching them about makeup. It's like, get ready with me and let's catch up.
Which honestly, I heard that's what people are doing on TikTok now.
Yes.
Like
the
similar,
get ready
but
with me.
like shorter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
So you would crush it on that.
You know what? My thing is I film all these videos and then I kind of forget about it or I forget to post it and I'm like, it's too late. But I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't be like that.
You
I
should
know.
just post it.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the hardest thing about being someone that's looked at for being beautiful and your beauty and your face and like things like that?
That's a really great question. I think honestly it's your appearance. Like once you change something, people get really upset. So for example, like when people get used to something and it's changed, it makes people uncomfortable. So for example, like me getting lip filler or me changing my hair color or like, and people feel so entitled to comment on it. So
Yeah.
I would definitely say just, especially because the camera's just always focused on my face. If anything changes, I shave the ends of my eyebrows and everybody just attacked me. Like, they're like,
They notice every little
yes,
thing.
every little thing. And they're like, stop touching your eyebrows. Don't do that to your, and I'm like, I like it, you guys. But yeah, it's just little things like that. And I would also say I am very blessed with the genes that my mommy gave me. A lot of people think that I have cheek filler, that I've gotten my nose done and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I always used to try to prove myself back then. And I'd be like, I don't have this, I don't have that. Like, and it would get me so frustrated because I'm like, I haven't done anything to my face. And then now I'm just kind of like, if you think my cheekbones are fake, I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, you get past that and you're
Yeah,
just like,
I'm just
okay,
like, it
guys,
is what it is.
you can't please everyone.
Yeah, but my lip filler, I love. They're staying.
Yeah, your lips look good.
Thank you.
Is it hard always like having to keep your face so good for content? Like, is that stressful? Like your skin looks so good. Like, what do you, like there's probably days where you don't feel as pretty, but then you're like, okay, I need to take a video.
Honestly,
How do you deal with that? Or do you just always feel...
if back then I would force myself to just do it, but it would show off on camera. Like you can tell when the vibe is off and stuff like that. And I would just used to force myself. But now if I really don't feel my best or if I don't feel pretty, I just won't film.
Yeah.
And I will really take that time to either do like a face mask or, it's time for a facial. Take a lot of pride in taking care of my skin. And I will say most of it is genes from my mom because she has beautiful skin. But on top of it, like keeping up with it and taking care of it and have a very rigorous skincare routine. Doesn't matter how drunk I am, even if I'm blacked out, Daisy Marquez will do her skincare routine.
How long is your skincare routine, like when you're going to bed?
I have...
Walk us through your products.
Okay, so first, I will do cleansing balm. I do makeup wipes and then a cleansing balm. And then I will wash my face. And you're only supposed to exfoliate once a week.
Oh,
So
wow.
it doesn't ruin your skin barrier. So then I will exfoliate. And then I will go into toner. And then I will go into serum. And then I will go into moisturizer. And then sunscreen. And then a lip mask.
Wow.
And then eyelash and eyebrow serum.
Wow.
And that's how I end it.
Wow. Every night?
Every single night.
I wish
And then
I
on
was
top
like
of
that.
the freaking contacts, taking off my contacts and then my retainers and flossing.
You're like a good 30-something minutes in the bathroom.
I will have my little Netflix set up as I'm doing all this because it takes.
That's smart.
Yeah, but it's like my little time to get unready.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a long nighttime routine.
When you do eyelash and eyebrow serum, does it make your eyelashes and eyebrows grow?
It makes a huge difference. Yeah, I'm this Grande lash serum. You see these lashes grow?
Yeah, your lashes look good.
Love the lash serum.
I never do that.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
I need to do that.
And I shave my eyebrows, so I kind of need them back. So
I shave my eyebrows too. It's better when you do that, so they don't like get bald spots, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do that too. So can you talk about living in LA and what that's like? Obviously, you moved to Texas, but when you moved out here, what was that like for you? And then what moved you back to Texas?
Before moving here, I told myself, I was like, I don't want to just move straight to Hollywood. So I actually lived in Whittier.
Okay.
I lived in Whittier because I had a friend and her mom and her family kind of took me under their wing because I was very young. And
how old were you when you moved here again?
I waited until after my 18th birthday.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, you were still so young.
Yeah, so then I moved to Whittier, and I don't know what it is about me that every single year I feel the need to move. So then from Whittier, I moved to North Hollywood, and then North Hollywood, I think, and then West Hollywood. Every single year I've moved, but
why do you think that is? You have no idea?
I think I just
change.
I love change. I love change, and as well, like when I was living in Whittier, I was with my high school sweetheart, and then when we ended things, I was like, I need to get out of here, and I just really need to put myself out there. But living
when you move, it's like a new energy too.
Yeah, and I was like, I need constant change, and I feel like every single place that I lived at was meant at that time.
Mm-hmm. Is your day-to-day life always beauty and glamour?
No. It is no.
That's what people would think looking at your Instagram.
Yeah, no.
And I've had you like come to my office and you're just like so put together, and I'm like, oh my God.
You know, I will say when I step out of my house, I want to look put together at all times. And like I saw Tana at like some random event, and she's like, Daisy, you always look put together. And I'm like, thank you.
She's talking about Tana Mojo.
Yeah, she's like, you always look so good to put together, and I'm like, that is the best compliment ever.
You really do.
I feel like it's because of my mom.
You look like you're always on like a reality TV show, like a camera's following you 24/7.
I just love romanticizing my life, and I treat it like I'm on a reality TV show. Like I love to get glam to go to Target, the gas station. I just never know who I'm gonna see or who I'm gonna meet, and I love getting glammed. I'm just like, but not like full makeup and stuff, but I love looking put together.
Makes you feel good.
It makes me feel good, and I feel like it presents very well to other people.
Yeah.
You know, but then I have if I'm hungover, oh my God, I will not step out. I will look like a bum when I'm hungover. But yeah, my day-to-day life just kind of depends on my mood. If I'm feeling myself, you're going to be able to tell, and if I'm not, it will show. I dress up with my moods.
It's cool to be even inspired to put yourself together so much, because I literally got to a place in my life, I'm like, whatever, Tara, you're just going to have to accept it. I literally go to work every day without makeup on, and I wear sweats. But then I was like, embrace it, Tara. And like my thing now is like, okay, I can go to any meeting in sweats, and that's like my empowering thing for me. So I just had to like be like, I just can't get myself to put the makeup on, because I hate having to do the nighttime stuff.
Really?
Like the face, all that stuff with my face. Yeah, I literally only like wash my face and put lotion on. That's it.
Tara.
I know.
Babe, I'm coming over. I'm bringing you some products. I mean, but your skin still looks great. So I'm like, some people don't need it. And some people are like, Daisy, you're so extra. But I'm like, that's just how I am. I love it.
Yeah. But you can tell with your skin. Yeah, so that's what I'm like, I need to do it.
Thank you.
Is there any facials you would recommend? Like any good facials that you're like, oh, you should do these every a certain amount of time?
Literally, if I'm being quite honest with you, I get facials like every 5 months.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
And I go to one facialist only, and usually since she knows my skin, I go in there and she tells me what facial we're doing. I never tell her like, oh, let's do this. She'll kind of like examine my skin first, and then she'll be like, okay, we need to hydrate or we need to exfoliate today. And
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some people that are like super heavily into getting facials all the time. So I didn't know if that was someone like you, because I have a few friends that are like, they go every month.
I should be more into that, but I feel like because of my skincare routine, my skincare routine feels like a facial every freaking time.
Yeah, you're like, I'm doing it every night.
I'm like, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know you obviously like moved out to LA. Tell us about that experience of living here and then what kind of got you to move out of here and be like, I'm gonna go away to Texas.
So I moved here, like I said, at a very young age. And when I moved here initially with my high school sweetheart, it was awesome because I had somebody with me to, experience this new life with. But once we broke up, and then from Whittier, I moved to North Hollywood. I feel like at such a young age and living in Hollywood and now by myself I think I moved to North Hollywood when I was like 19. It really just, it was hard. It was very hard, and LA can be a...
And you were always living by yourself, like you
Yes.
were living alone when you moved to North
Yes.
Hollywood?
Ever since I moved out of my mom's house, I've been living by myself up until now. So I've been living by myself for 6-7 years.
Wow.
And it was very lonely. It was very depressing. And, although I had like friends and stuff, like being here without no family, and my way of like, me going out was like my way of at least not being by myself. But then that also kind of backfired because then I was partying and drinking, and then at the same time trying to balance content, and like, it was just a lot. And so I feel like the very last year, which was like, I think prior to COVID, I think that's when it really took a toll on my mental health, and I just realized that I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Like I had everything I could ever imagine, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm not happy. It doesn't matter how much money or superficial stuff I have, or the friends, or my place, or car, whatever. I'm like, I'm just genuinely not happy. And I had to just really take a step back, find my roots again. And I was like, I think it's time to move back to Texas and just reroot myself and really focus on myself. And so during COVID, since I didn't want to be in lockdown by myself, I moved back with my mom. And that's when I really realized I'm like, I'm the happiest with my family.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, yeah, and I was like, I look back at it and I'm like, back then I would much rather go to like a Super Bowl party than my cousin's birthday. And now I would much rather go to my cousin's birthday than like a party. So
I love that
I'm
feeling.
very glad that my priorities changed. Family is my top priority now. I feel like at the time, since I was like, getting all this status and stuff, I feel like that's where my head was at. But now I realize that that's not important, and that memories with the family, I feel like, it's what's more important than memories at a freaking party.
Yeah.
With random people.
Yeah, you realize you're like, it's really shallow after a while. You're like, it's not fulfilling you.
Yeah, it's not. And like LA is a very sunny place with shady people. So that's perfect. I'm like, I'm writing that down.
Wow, that was really perfect.
I'm like, somebody quote that.
I was like, you definitely, I thought you said that all the time. I was like, that was great. I've never heard that.
Yeah, and so I feel like the environment that you're in just really dictates if you're going to flourish or not. And I feel like I wasn't flourishing. I was like a flower that was like wilting over time. And now I'm like reborn.
Yeah, well, that's good. What was the hardest part about being in the limelight?
I think proving myself. And
by the way, I want to say one thing. I remember when I first heard about you, that was when I was friends with Summer Rae, and I just constantly kept hearing your name. I think you were, and it was like in LA, like everyone was talking about you. Yeah.
Oh
And I was like, who is this Daisy Marquez girl? I think you were throwing your birthday too in like LA, and I just remember like the whole town was like talking about you.
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I make my birthday a big deal.
Yeah.
Like the whole world knows it's my birthday. I will celebrate it. I will celebrate my birth month. And since I'm on the cusp of Virgo season, people get so mad. I'm like, you know what? It's Virgo season, Libra season, my season. No, but yeah, I feel like through Roman, I'm very social and I'm very friendly. I made a bunch of friends within like that 1 year. And I just kind of, I don't know how I really put myself out there. I guess just my personality and stuff. But
did it get hard for you like being so in the public?
Yes, I like going back to proving myself. I feel like especially back then, I just always felt the need to explain myself or prove myself and validate myself because I never felt worthy of anything. So I feel like, especially on social media, people telling me like, you're not Cher, you're not anything, whatever. That's give everything in my life. So now I don't feel the need to prove myself to anyone, or I validate my own worth in this world.
And one of the things I've heard a few times is like being in the limelight or like the Hollywood scene of all like these celebrities and influencers and all this stuff. There's like a lot of what comes with it is also a lot of insecure energies because everyone's kind of like trying to be in the limelight. They're all comparing themselves to each other. And so when you kind of walk into those rooms, sometimes you could feel the energy and then you're almost like insecure. You're like, am I being weird? Am I like, you're almost judging yourself too because you're feeling it from everyone else. And so some of that, like it took me a long time to really see that. And I've heard it from a few people in the industry too. They're like, I had to get my core people, like their family or their hometown friends, because they're like, that's what grounds me.
Yeah.
And because when you're in this too much, sometimes it's
yeah,
like
it just gets to you. I will say I didn't become confident. Like I'll walk in a room and I will own it until like 2-3 years ago. It takes a long time to build confidence, but I'm like, at the end of the day, if you are confident, like nobody can take that away from you.
Yeah,
you can't buy confidence. It doesn't matter how many followers or how famous you are. If you're not confident, like people will know it. And I have learned to be confident in my own body. And
how did you learn? Did you just fake it until you were, or what was your?
I think one day I was just like, you know what, Daisy? I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you are that bitch, and nobody can tell you otherwise. And if somebody thinks that you are not that bitch, it's their personal problem, because as long as you feel it within, it's gonna come out. Yeah, I just kind of own it. Even on the days that I feel ugly, or if I'm in the room and I feel like you can be the prettiest girl in the room, and if you're insecure, and especially about I love supporting women. Yeah. I hate people that are very envious, and I do not want to be around that energy.
Yeah, that's hard in the makeup world too.
Yeah, the makeup industry, especially like makeup events. Back then, it's like a competition for sure. It's like who has the best makeup or best outfit, and I feel like back then it was. I also would compare myself, but now I don't feel the need to compare myself to anyone. It took me a very long time though to be who I am today, and I feel like Texas is the reason why. I'm just so happy and content. I feel like it shows, and even my flowers are like, you are glowing and flourishing, and I'm like, thank you. It's all the self-worth.
Oh, that's cute. That makes me happy for you.
Thank you.
Do you feel like it's ever hard to be your authentic self on social media?
Yes.
Like there's certain things that you can't do, or you overthink, or.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, like, me in person, I'm like a wild card. I have a very big personality, but on social media,
which makes you entertaining.
Thank you, but on YouTube, I'm not like that. I remember because I was very reserved on YouTube, and I was just very calm, and I would just talk about makeup and not really show much of my personality. So when I did start showing my personality, people were like, "Why is she faking it?" Or "Why is she being? She never acts like this." And I'm like, "Crap! If only people knew that I actually am like this, and I'm not trying to fake my personality." I don't know. Some people know me for me, and some people that just follow me, I don't know. Yeah, it is hard.
So it gets in your head and you're like, should I be saying this or should I not? And
yeah, that is probably one of the biggest struggles. Yeah, because I'm like, am I coming off annoying?
And also you're like building this brand too, and you know what type of brand sells and what makes you the most money.
Yeah.
So that probably is hard too, like being like, okay, I'm working with these brands, like should I can't say this or do this. Like, do you have those situations? For sure. My Instagram, and like, I'm so honest, but like, I was pitched in for this deal, and the brand came back and said that, they unfortunately were not going to work with me because I'm too sexy on Instagram. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I've never heard of that. And yeah, they said that I was too risque and sexy. And I was like, whoa. But that's why, like, I'm like, it's hard. It's hard to present yourself because you don't want brands like that to think that you are too sexy or too this and too that. But I'm like, if you go on my YouTube, it's very like put together, and then my Instagram is obviously more fun, like out there. But I'm just like, I mean, I don't know. I think that's like the hardest part about also building a following that I've heard a lot of times is like, it gets stressful having to be something that everyone else is imagining you are. Like, because you have to like build this persona for social media, and everyone has to realize at the end of the day that are watching, like, I always say to other influencers that you get to tell your audience what to think. Yeah, exactly. And like everyone's painting the picture for their fans, what they want them to see and what they don't want them to see. But with that comes, and when you have a huge fan base, if they meet you in person, it's kind of like a lot for people to expect you to be a certain way.
Yes.
You're like, how am I supposed to be?
Literally. Like people, and they're like, oh my God, you're not wearing makeup, or you're so pretty. And I'm like, some people expect me to be, you go on my Instagram and I'm like super glam and put together. But for the most part, like I'm usually not wearing makeup and I'm like in a bodysuit. So people do expect to see you exactly how it is on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say I've gotten compliments that I'm not a catfish. So
yeah, you're not. You look exactly the same.
Thank you.
You just went on a trip to Puerto Rico by yourself. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So my family and friends and like the people that follow me online, they're like, you are freaking batshit crazy, because I mean, there is a lot of, I think like for women now, like sex trafficking and stuff, it's like a really big deal. But I went to Puerto Rico alone, one, because I'm familiar with the island. I've been there 4 times.
Oh, okay.
And I know it like the back of my hand, and I make sure to stay in public hotels. And I have this thing that I got from Amazon. It's like a cute little, you should definitely get it. So like every time I'm out in public or like I go clubbing and stuff, if you're in a state of emergency, you tap in, like it dispatches you, and it pings your cellular like thing, so it will know what location you are at without talking to anybody.
Whoa, that's cool.
So I took that with me. So I was feeling in a funk, and I'm like, you know what? I need to go on a trip by myself and just regroup. I took my crystals, I took my books, and I'm like, I'm just going to feed myself some knowledge, and I just wanted to hear the beach, and it was so amazing.
That's so cool.
I went there with the intentions of wanting to make new friends.
Wow.
So I ended up making like 10 friends, and I was like, oh my God, Daisy.
Really? Like, how do you even begin when you're alone? I've never done that before.
Literally, a fan had actually messaged me, and my mom she was like, you just never know their intentions. She's like, and so like I had gotten a bunch of DMs of people being like, oh, I live here, like I can take you out, blah, blah. And this one specific girl, her name is Mari, she DM'd me, and she's like, hey girl, she's like, you should come out to this place. She's like, I work here, I'll take care of you. And I was like, okay, it's a club, so it's a public space. Yeah. But then I got ready, and I'm like, wait, Daisy, you're gonna go to the club by yourself, girl? And I'm like, she works there, so she's not gonna be with you. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is not a good idea. And then I told her, I was like, hey, actually, I feel kind of dumb, like going to the club by myself. And she's like, no, I'm gonna put you in a table full of girls. She's like, trust me, they're really great energy, they're so nice. So then she puts me in this table with the girls, and honestly, at first they looked at me like, who is this bitch? And I was like, I'm nice, I swear. So I bought a bottle of tequila. I'm like, hey guys, like they're like, we don't drink tequila. And I'm like, fuck. I'm gonna have to drink this bottle by myself. They're like, we only drink vodka here. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, just try. And then it was awkward. I was just like in the corner, and they were like a established friend group. But then after I got a couple shots, I just like started asking them questions, and you know, by the end of the night, we were all dancing, and then they invited me to like other events, and then from there, like the next day, one of the girls was like, "Hey, we're doing this," so then I just from there networked my way, and I met a lot of people, and it was a lot of fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so now I have like, they're like, whenever you're here, like we'll take care of you. So now I have a girlfriend group over there now, which is really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I wish I was that free spirited.
I've
never done a trip
just
like
go
that.
For it. I also went to the snow by myself. I went to Salt Lake Tahoe.
Really?
Before Puerto Rico, but that one I didn't survive it. No, the first time, because I got snowed in. So I was like, I'm really gonna be stuck inside of a cabin for 4 days. I'm like, no. So then I flew in my cousin last minute.
You're like, you're coming here.
Yeah,
with me.
no, I definitely have to be out in nature for sure if I travel alone. So.
That's cool that you're able to be like independent like that though.
I love it. That's why I don't have kids. I don't have pets. I don't have any responsibilities.
Yeah, so you can kind of like get up and go.
I love it. I love the freedom of it. I love to feel free at all times.
What is your dating life like, and what are you looking for? My
dating life is honestly so unpredictable. I have been single for 3 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It's definitely by choice. Yeah. I could have had a boyfriend a long time ago, but I'm like, I have healed myself so much, so I just refuse to let somebody come into my energy and kind of mess that up. So if they're at war with themselves, please do not disturb my peace is what now, back then I would go on dates and I'd be like, oh, what's your favorite movie? Like this and that. Now I'm in my mid-20s. Oh my God, 25.
You're still so young. You're like,
I'm like,
just realized.
I was about to say, now that I'm in my early 20s, I'm in my mid-20s now. Oh my God, now that I'm in my mid-20s. Now when I go on dates, I ask them, like, what's your relationship like with your family? Do you have siblings? Like, what is that relationship like? Because then that will tell me, like, if they have like mommy issues or daddy. I really go into it more. I kind of like pick at their brains when I go on dates now, because I really need to see if you are, you know, worthy of coming into, because I feel like I bring I feel like I cherish and protect my energy a lot, and I just feel like I bring a lot to the table as well. So my standards are very high, and my dating, like I go on a lot of dates, and I just haven't found anybody. I date anywhere from like my age to coffin, so.
That's hilarious.
I'm playing but like.
So like with a cane's fine,
Yeah,
or
sure.
you're like, I don't discriminate.
No, I'm playing, but yeah. I mean, I'm into older men, if I'm being honest.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so.
Because you just feel like they're more mature, they're more grounded.
Mature, yeah, and like, I guess that kind of dusts them a little bit from daddy issues. I have overcame that a lot. Yeah, I definitely want like a man, and I want to feel protected. Like that's like my number one thing. It's just
that's like the energy of like it feels better for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of men are intimidated by your success?
100%. Like, and it does suck a little bit because I don't mean to come off intimidating, but like, yeah, I don't know how to.
It's hard not to be like right away. They're just gonna.
And I feel like I make it very clear that at the end of the day, I don't need a man. I can only want you. So you better bring something to the table, because if not, you're just like, I want my partner definitely as well has to be successful. Like, at least bring the same, or if not more, to the table, because in the past, I would always kind of like lower myself. I feel like money is just a huge issue in relationships, especially if.
Yeah, they say like, isn't that like the number one reason for divorce?
Yes, and like, yeah, I've taken care of someone financially, and that was just like horrible. I was just like, I can't believe, you know, I spent those years of my life taking care of another human being, when it just really just, and like money at the end of the day was like the issue. So now moving forward, you know, it's not to like that I wouldn't date somebody that has less money than me, but it's like at the end of the day, like it's gonna fuck me over, because I live a certain lifestyle, and I like to dress up and go out, and you know, I would want my partner to, you know, also be able to afford the same lifestyle. And I don't think that makes me cocky or anything. I just know what I want.
More attracted to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like some people like judge that so much, or look at that as such a negative, but I'm like, we all are allowed to like what we like, and we all are allowed to be attracted to certain things, and some people are like, everyone could be attracted to their own things. Like, for an example, someone like you is like, you're motivated to be successful. You're motivated to do these things in your life, and you want someone else that also is.
Exactly.
And so like, that's not a negative thing in my eyes. It's like, it's who I am. So I want that in my partner, because that's what inspires me.
Accept it now. Yeah. Back then I would feel like shameful of it, but I'm like, you know what? I can't. Like, it's just what I like. And recently though, I went on a date with a guy, and he was just so in his masculine energy that I felt myself in my feminine energy, and it was so refreshing. It was so refreshing, but he was a walking red flag, so I was like, crap.
What was like the red flag?
He was very controlling. So I felt instantly, I guess like I'm telling you, I guess I come off as like very bougie and stuff, but to me it's the little things. You don't have to take me to the finest restaurant. Like, we can go to In-N-Out and go to a drive-in movie. Like, I really don't care. But I guess on our first date, he was like, don't walk on this side of the road with the cars. Like, walk on this side. I'm like, oh my God, it's the little things. Yeah. He would hold my hand and stuff. But then like the more we started to talk and stuff, I talked about this on my YouTube video, so I'm going to tell you. It was his birthday, so I had came out here for his birthday, and basically, long story short, he was at work, whatever the work he does, I don't want to. He's gonna give it off, but he was at work, and I was in the hotel room, and I'm like, I can't just be in a hotel room. Like, I got to do something. So I was like, hey, like, I got invited to the Spotify event, so I was like, I'm gonna go. And he's like, why? And I'm like, what do you mean why? Like, it's my job. Like, I'm gonna go network and like do. He was like, no. And I was like, what do you mean no? He's like, I want you to stay in the hotel room and wait until I'm done. I was like, you're at work. I can't go to my work events. I was like, who the fuck does he think he is? And I'm so not used to people telling me what to do. So I was like, I'm going to do whatever I want. Yeah. So I went to the event, and I came back, and he literally cut me off. And his birthday was at midnight. So I'm like blowing him up, and I'm like, oh, like, what time are we linking? Like, what are your birthday plans tonight? Blah, blah. Ghosted me, didn't answer my texts or calls in the next. And then I had even bought him like a bottle of wine and like little things for his birthday. I finished that whole bottle of wine by myself. I was crying in my hotel room, and by the time that I finished the bottle of wine, it was 3 a.m. He still hadn't hit me up, and I'm like, oh my God, I really flew in here for this guy, and he's just completely like, he just abandoned me. So then I was like, what the fuck is your problem? That's the last text I sent, and then the next day he was like, don't cuss at me. I'm like, that's all you have to say.
Yeah, wow.
He could care less, and I was like, yeah, no, he is.
Yeah, that is a
Red
huge
flag.
red flag.
Huge red
That
flag.
is a huge red flag.
And then I finally asked him, I was like, what was your, he was like, you didn't obey me. And I'm like,
ew. Those are like one of those types of guys that like, unless you constantly like transform yourself to be exactly what they want, and then you'll get to a place where you're like, who is this?
yeah.
I've seen some girls do that, and they're like, I don't even know who I became because I'm trying to be everything he wants me to be.
Yeah, and I was like, no. I was like, I'm not about to be. I was like, you can go find somebody that will like, I don't know. I guess, and also like he is, I would say he's up there.
Yeah.
So he has never been with the girl that is also up there. So I just was like, yeah, it was just, no.
Yeah, one of the things I always remember, like I always tell myself is like, if they're attracted to you in the first place and they like you for who you are now, but then they're trying to change you, then that's not true. Then they don't really love you for you.
Yeah. You know, my mom told me, she's like, if you ever find yourself trying to change something about the person that you were trying to pursue, whether that's physically or mentally, they're not meant for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Interesting.
Yeah, because if I start talking to a guy and I'm like, oh, I wish he was taller, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
If I'm already trying, if I'm saying those little things, and I'm like, okay, they're not for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to look at it.
I know. And after that, from there, I like, if I catch myself saying absolutely anything, like trying to change them, I'm like, that person is definitely not for me. Because if you really love someone for who they are, you would not try to change anything about them.
Yeah, so true. What is like your biggest like ick or red flag about a guy when you're like looking for someone to date?
You know, wait, this one has nothing to do with it. But you know what? It's so unattractive to me on a guy.
What?
When they have an Apple Watch. I don't know why that is one of my icks. If I so random. It's so random.
That's the thing I thought you were gonna say.
No. This is just like a funny one that I felt like throwing in there. But like recently, oh my God, if I see a man with an Apple Watch approaching me, I'm like, sir, I don't want to know how many steps you took in a day. LOL. But anyways, like icks.
How many stops you took on a day?
Yeah, it was just
like they're tracking their walk.
I don't know why. It's just a me thing. If you have an Apple Watch, no offense to you,
too organized for me.
Yeah, I don't know, but I would say hygiene is like such a big thing for me. Like I am so OCD, and like oh my God, the number one thing I will look at in a man is their nails. If I see like there's dirt on their nails or anything, that just like tells me that you don't take care of yourself. I love a man that can take care of himself.
Yeah, you're so groomed. You're like,
I need somebody to, and I feel like also for Libras, like we love everything aesthetically pleasing. So I would, if I'm like put together and you know I'm take care of myself, I would want my person to take care of themselves.
Yeah, so it's like hygiene and things like that.
Hygiene is like very important. That's just like that's like my biggest ick. If I just notice like you're just not on your like hygiene.
Yeah.
It's a turn off for me.
Yeah, it's hard to like make out with someone if their breath smells.
Yeah,
things
stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm like OCD about eating, like having gum.
Mm-hmm.
What is your biggest red flag about like a personality trait with someone? That if you hear it, you're like, okay, not for me.
I would say just ego. If they're very egotistic, I don't want a man that has a huge ego. You can be, you know, confident and not have an ego, but if he thinks that his confidence, if he thinks that his ego is confidence, I'm like, no. You can tell when somebody has a big ego.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's the number one thing that I just will never be with an egotistic or narcissistic person.
It's cool if you can tell when it's happening.
Yeah.
So what's next for the Daisy Marquez brand?
So I actually, after this, have a meeting where I'm planning out the next 6 months. And I feel like I just don't want to talk about the things yet because they haven't happened.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah, but I have a lot in store. And
is it, all you have to do is give us a hint. Is it very different than what you've been doing? Like, is there any little, like, are you going to show your personality more on your Instagram?
Definitely. So I'm definitely going to I'm going to talk about more about my personal life and experiences and stuff. I feel like I'm still going to be doing makeup and, you know, the wine and stuff like that. But people are going to definitely see a whole other side of me. And
that's exciting.
I feel like it's going to make some people uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, they're going to have to accept it because it is who I am. And I feel like I'm just finally ready to show everybody. how I actually am, and like just
Yeah.
things that have happened that I've never talked
Yeah.
about. If I usually will never address anything, or I don't go on social media and talk about my experiences, with things or people. And I just want to be, just very honest and about things that I've gone through. And, a lot is going to unfold
Oh, that's
in a very
exciting.
beautiful, elegant way.
Yay.
Yeah.
They heard it here first, so we're excited. What do you feel like is your billion-dollar quality that got you to where you are today?
I would definitely say my personality. I feel like just being myself. I feel like if I was trying to be somebody else and just never fully my authentic self, I would not have gotten as far as I am today, or, connected with so many people around the world. And my story, my immigration story, for sure.
Yeah, it was like empowering.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that empowered me a lot. My personality and just me.
You took a limitation and turned it into your strength.
Yeah, literally. And
Which
I saw
is
it.
so cool.
I used to see it as a weakness, and I remember when I was, I think, like in 6th grade, I went to a private school, and there wasn't a lot of, I think it was only like, in my grade, there was only like 3 other Mexicans, Latinas. And I remember I told somebody that I was Mexican, and they were like, ew. And I remember from then, I stopped telling people that I was from Mexico. I remember like through my middle school years, I didn't tell anybody that I was from Mexico. And then one day I was like, you have to be proud of it. Like, be proud of it, own it, be proud of your culture and your roots. And now I embrace it.
That's what I'm so happy about now. Our generation is becoming so much more like acceptable of cultures and stuff. It's like,
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. So my last questions for you are, where do you envision yourself in 3 years from now?
In 3 years from now, I envision myself a CEO of my own company, for sure. And I don't see myself in Texas. I see myself, hopefully, in a healthy, loving relationship with my own business and just growing my empire. Cool. Still with my family, still united with my family. Yeah. But definitely just want to keep, if I can grow more, that's just my ultimate goal. I always want to keep evolving and building my empire as well. Yeah. And you are a huge aspiration. Oh, and I admire you and I look up to you a lot. So, yeah.
Oh, vice versa.
Thank you.
Love you. What is your social media platform that you love the most, and why?
That I love being on the most, or that my social media platform that I love the most?
Yeah, maybe the one that you love being on the most.
Right now, I love being on TikTok.
Yeah.
I love TikTok, but I feel like since I'm so present in all the platforms and just kind of like being on the other side on TikTok, it's a little bit fun for me. And I feel like maybe that's why I don't post as much, but I should be posting more.
Yeah, so you actually like going on TikTok, but you don't post enough on TikTok.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite one that you post on? That you're like, okay, I just feel like...
Probably right now, YouTube.
YouTube.
I guess just because I found my love for YouTube again. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like just refreshing.
And you probably have like a lot of people that have been with you for years there.
For years. Yeah, since 2016. Yeah.
Wow.
And they call themselves the OG Flowers. And I'm like, you go, girl. I love that they call themselves, they're like OG Flower here. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You like have a connection with them for so long, which is awesome.
Yeah. And I have the Daisy Diaries, the second account. That one is more intimate. So like there I go on Instagram Lives a lot. And that's like, I have a very much stronger connection with the people that are on that account.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember that account.
Yeah. It's private now, but I was like, I need to keep this intimate.
Yeah, it's like a cute little sacred place with your fans.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
If you guys want to find me on social media, my @name on all social media platforms is Daisy Marquez with an _.
And she could probably tell you about her skin routine, her
makeup. On YouTube.
They have to come all watch you there.
Yeah, everything's on my YouTube. My fun story times, all that good stuff is on.
And you have to go follow her because there's going to be a whole nother side of Daisy coming out, as she said, which I'm excited to see.
Thank you.
Because I know who you are and you're just great. So thank you guys for all watching. Me and Daisy are going to be reading the comments, so tell us what parts resonated with you the most. And I appreciate you for hopping on with me.
Thank you so much. I love you so much.
I love you. It's so cute. All right, my $1 billion babies, thank you so much for tuning in. stay updated on my social media at TARUHHH, where I'll be posting everything Billion Dollar Baby. Let me know on the comments what you would like to see next, what guests, things you want to know, and I'm so excited to tune in with you every week.